What am I? Chapter 1. कहकाल कानी मित्राणी का देश व्यय मागताओ। को हम कांच में शक्ति एतन चिंत्य मुहुर्मुहा। चाणक्य नीति 4.18। What am I? What is my power? Who am I? What is my duty, etc. should be deliberated upon regularly. All the thinkers are unanimous on the point that the best form of knowledge is knowledge of self. After getting full knowledge about the self, there remains nothing to be known. Every being is, in fact, God Himself. Bound by evil thoughts, he presents an ugly look, although invaluable treasure abounds in himself. He is the center of power to the extent we cannot imagine. All difficulties and sufferings are on account of not knowing about self. When we realize the real form of soul, all troubles disappear. After experiencing knowledge about the self, he exclaims, I am not born. Then where is my birth or death? I am not mine then. How can there be any feeling of sorrow or attachment? I am not the doer then. Where is the question of my bondage or deliverance? When he understands, what am I? Then he gets the concrete knowledge. After seeing the true form of all objects, he can make proper use of them. Viewing from any angle, the knowledge of self is supreme and within everybody's reach. If a question is put to anyone, who are you? He would reply, giving description of his caste, family, profession, status or community, and on further enquiry, would state in more details about his place of residence, origin and occupation, etc. This is not the correct answer to the query. The person furnishing the information, in fact, has identified himself with the description given by him on physical plane. Man has engrossed himself so much with his bodily feelings that he has started identifying himself as merely a physical being. Family, caste, profession, or status are the attributes of the body. Body is an instrument or an equipment of man. But because of an illusion and ignorance of knowledge, man identifying himself with his body treats his physical needs as his own. Because of this confusion, life becomes a nest of disturbance, anxieties, and sufferings. True it is that man lives in the body, but this is also correct that he is not the body. When a man breathes his last, the body remains as it was. It has lost nothing still, the dead body becomes inert. If it is kept for a short period, it decays, and decomposition starts and emits foul smell and insects start crawling. Body is the same and in the same position, but with the passing out of life breath, its plight starts. The conclusion is that man does reside in the body, but in reality, it is different from body. That different force is called soul. In fact, that is the man. What am I? The correct answer to this is, I am the soul. We have heard about the separate identities of body and soul. On principle, we accept it. Seldom may anyone dispute that the body and spirit are not separate. This theory of the body and soul having two distinct identities is universally accepted. However, people do not accept it in practice. People behave as if they are body itself. The loss and gain of the body is their own loss or gain. If a person is watched closely as to what he thinks, what he says and what he does, then it would be found that he thinks about the body, talks about it, and whatever he does, that is only for the body. He has identified I totally with the body. Body is the temple of soul. It is but essential and proper to keep it fit, clean, and provided with necessary conveniences. But it is harmful to think all the time about the body alone. It would be totally wrong to presume the body as the form of self and forget its real form. Just after identifying one's self with the body, the loss or gain to the body is considered by a person to be his own, and he forgets about his real interest. This game of omission and commission makes his life cumbersome and humdrum. Soul is separate from the body. The interests of the body and soul are also different. The interests of the body are represented by organs or indriyan. 10 organs, indriyan. And 11th, the mind, all think and act from the physical standpoint. Tasty food, fine clothing, beautiful sights, melody notes, attractive ladies, and various types of bodily pleasures are the desires of these organs. High status, excess of wealth, wide reputation and respect are the longings of the mind. To quench these desires and longings in any way, entire life is spent. When these desires become intense, the person concerned seeks to satisfy them without discrimination of right and wrong. This is the pivot of all sins. The life of a person remains alive only to the physical body. When used for the fulfillment of its lust for food, sleep, fear, and reproduction of children, it is useless and nothing short of animal life. If his desires become more intense, he becomes a devil incarnated. He does not hesitate to do anything to achieve his goal illegally. Such persons neither live peacefully themselves nor allow others to do so. Sex and greed are two such instincts which can never be satisfied, and every effort to fulfill them make them all the more intense, and gives rise to disturbance of mind, anxiety, longings and restlessness which go on multiplying day and night. The pleasure which one derives by satisfying such desires brings severe sorrow in return. In this way, a physical body-minded person is dragged into sin, sorrow, desires, and loss of mental peace. The real success of life and its prosperity lies in soul consciousness. When a person identifies himself as soul, his desires, ambitions, and inclinations take a turn for actions, which provide spiritual pleasure. We see that while committing theft, violence, low actions, fraud, or any bad deed, full of unprincipled policy, it creates chaos in the inner conscience. While committing sin, legs tremble, the heart beats faster. The conclusion of all this is that the soul does not approve of such actions. These are against its taste and interest. But when a person is involved in doing good to others, to serve humanity, cooperation, donation, broad-mindedness, sacrifice, austerity, deeds full of virtues, then he experiences some special type of contentment, lightheartedness, pleasure and delight. It means that rendering of such virtuous deeds is in consonance with the interests of soul. It likes to take real pleasure in such actions. Those who hear the voice of their conscience and act accordingly are virtuous persons. They have no tendency to commit any sin, and as such, they are incapable of doing such deeds. The soul derives immediate pleasure by rendering good deeds. Solace and peace in this world or after death are dependent upon the performance of virtuous deeds. Therefore, the interest of the soul lies in organizing good deeds, but the interest of the body is to the contrary. The senses and the mind wish to enjoy the pleasures of this world more and more. By adopting such path of working, a person spends his entire life in meeting the desires of this mortal frame and gathers the burden of sins. This does provide entertainment to body and mind, but soul has to undergo suffering in this world and hereafter. In the process of doing good deeds for the soul, the body has to pass through hard times. Austerity, sacrifice, discipline, celibacy, service, donation, etc. are such acts for which body is to be kept under control and discipline. Only then these good deeds are performed. In this way, we see that the interest of the body and of the soul do not see eye to eye with each other. Comfort of one is trouble for the other. Interest of one are opposite and contrary to other. Out of these two opposing pursuits, we have to choose one. Those persons who consider themselves as body do not care for the comfort of soul and spend their entire life in collecting material goods, luxury items for the bodily comfort. The life of such people is like that of an animal, sinful and worth condemnation. Though they discuss religion, God, good conduct, world after death, their target is within the four walls of their self-interest. They take the shelter of religion at times to satisfy their ego, to impose their respect upon others. Otherwise, their mental conditions are always busy in such resources which are meant for bodily comfort. But when a person accepts the interest of the soul as supreme, then his condition is essentially peculiar but contrary. To seek physical pleasures, luxury items appear to him as a child's play. In fact, the body, which is merely a veil or an instrument for the soul, is not of such importance in his view. That entire invaluable life is wasted in providing comfort and luxury to it. A person of enlightened soul considers himself to be soul alone. He displays inclination in activities which are for the uplift, welfare, solace to soul, and makes efforts therefore. He is always eager to spend every moment in the religious activities. In this way, persons having faith in body alone advance towards sin, animal nature, and those who are soul-oriented steer their lives towards virtuous, divine life. It is known to all that the result of such actions in this world and the world after death with respect to sin is sorrow, and of virtue is comfort. Those who consider themselves as soul always enjoy the state of ecstasy. He who has acquired knowledge of self is neither greatly influenced nor stirred or disturbed by petty events. Events of gain, loss, birth, death, separation, longing, respect, disrespect, greed, anger, desire, sex, pleasure, attachment, hatred, jealousy do not cause sorrow to him, as he knows that these are ordinary events in this ever-changing world. Much sought for desires or conditions cannot always be fulfilled. With the change of times, various unwarranted and undesirable events do take place, and as such, one looks at these changes like an entertainment, changing scenes in a play, which are queer and a source of enjoyment. He does not become restless when faced with an unpleasant situation. Persons having knowledge of self escape the mental agonies of those troubles in routine, which always cause serious problems and restlessness to those who are body conscious. They at times are greatly stirred and often commit suicide. To make life pure, easygoing, natural and dignified, the straight highway is to raise oneself above body level and awaken the soul. With it, real solace, peace, and the goal of life is achieved. The masters of spiritual teachings have realized this fact properly, and in their practices for austerity, the first place has been assigned to knowledge of the self. What am I? Deliberating on this question, one reaches to this conclusion that I am soul. More the intensity of this belief grows, the thoughts and actions of such persons start shaping themselves into virtuous spiritual deeds. There are such measures of austerity in this book, through which we may recognize the form of our soul and keep them close to our heart. On gaining knowledge of the self, The real path is easily located by treading over which one can easily achieve the goal of life, the highest pedestal. By recognizing the true form of his soul, a person understands that he is neither physical nor astral body. They are my veil only. Mental faculties also are my mere tools. I am not tied to them. Just after understanding the reality, the entire confusion is resolved and the monkey opens the grip to release the grain. You might have heard the story that grain was kept in an utensil of narrow neck. The monkey puts its hand into it to get the grain. It wanted to bring out its fist full of grains. It could not take it out, the neck being narrow. The poor fellow kept crying that the grain has caught the hand. But as soon as it realized the truth, that it had closed its fists and thus invited the trouble, it released the grain, and the grain in return also released the monkey. Desire and anger trouble us because they recognize us as their slave. The day we stand in revolt against them, the state of confusion shall wither away. A lion's cub was being brought up amongst the sheep herd. It considered itself as a sheep, but when it looked at its face in water, it realized that it was not a sheep, but a lion. As he realized his true form, his sheepness vanished at once. The importance of knowing oneself is just similar. Whosoever came to know of it got rid of all sorrow and poverty, for which he was crying hoarsely. There are a number of things worth knowing in this world, but out of them, the foremost is to know one's self. Whosoever has known his self has understood the secret of life. In the field of physics, the inventors have made astounding inventions. The electrical energy, ethereal energy, and atomic power, etc., hidden in the bosom of nature, have been searched out. The great inventors of spiritual world have also found soul, the nectar of life after churning the ocean of life. The knower of soul turns out to be really learned, and he who acquires it is termed as victor of the world and beyond illusion. Hence, it is the duty of every person to know his self. What am I? This question should be put to oneself, and proper answer to it has to be arrived at after deliberation and conscientious analysis. After coming to know the real position about oneself, we can understand our gain or loss in reality. Whatever is thought to be gainful by a person soiled in senses and who has been craving for them after being absorbed in soul, to him, these would appear to be of no significance, rather harmful. Such a person enjoys those things from which the person soiled in senses was running away. The inner eyes of the aspirant heading on the path of self-realization open, and after understanding the important secret of life, advance towards the real truth speedily. Several aspirants make an effort to proceed on the path of spiritualism, but they are imparted partial and one-sided instructions in this direction. The real removal of drowsiness surrounding a person is to make him know his real self properly. The treatment which cures only the tossing of hands and feet, redness of eyes, is not a complete cure. Yagya, oblation, austerity, donation, fasting, accomplishing a religious vow or undertaking chanting, etc. are no doubt useful tools. Their utility cannot be denied, but this is not reality. These, no doubt, enhance purity and virtuous tendencies. Virtuous deeds do grow, but that conscientiousness is not derived through which the real form of all objects is known and the entire cloud of ignorance is removed. Our object in this book is to awaken the conscientiousness of knowledge of oneself, who is perseverant because we understand that there cannot be any other easier and definite way of salvation than this. Whosoever has realized his real self, the virtuous deeds become his slave, and the evil traits vanish away. This pursuit of self-realization shall raise the aspirants to a higher level. By practicing it, they would soar higher up from the place where they presently stand. From the height thus attained, they would be able to see that this world is very wide and their responsibilities enormous. Their domain is widely spread. The anxieties which they were having till now shall also increase. They would realize that they are the master of more things which they previously beheld. Now, a perseverant soars all the more higher on new peaks to find if he has more assets than he previously conceived. The higher he soars, the more it appears to him that more objects belong to him. After attaining the topmost peak, the extent to which he spreads his vision, he finds all objects belonging to him. So far he was worried about his one sister, 2 brothers, mother, father, 2 horses and 10 servants. But he now develops anxiety for taking care of several thousand living beings. This is the expansion of ego. In other words, it is the destruction of ego. The meaning of both is the same, but the difference is only realization and presentation. You might have seen rubber balloons with which children play. Take one of these and fill air in it. The more you pump air into it, the more it inflates and moves toward the bursting point. After some time, so much air will be pumped that the balloon will burst, and the air in it shall mingle in its broader form present in the atmosphere. This is the process of self-realization. This book will tell you the way to know yourself and to expand the horizon of yourself. In this aphorism alone is latent that great science on the basis of which different spiritual sects have been founded. All those results are present in seed form in the said aphorism, which can be achieved anywhere by genuine spiritual practice. A spiritual aspirant who has once glimpsed the real form of soul can never retrace his steps. Would any such person whose life's end seemed near due to thirst ever like to leave the soothing cool bank of the Ganges and revert to the parched desert where he experienced the intolerable death agony every minute? Yadgatva na nivritante tadham paramam mam. Lord Krishna has said in Gita, "They who reach it return not. That is my supreme abode." In fact, after realizing the reality and reaching there, no one likes to backtrack. No question of falling from the spiritual path at all arises. After reaching sweet home, can anyone forget the route to it? Desire, anger, greed, lust, etc. are deformities and the longings of senses and create obstruction in the path of a person and drag him into the net of sorrow and trouble. This sin and bondage is the root cause. These are the causes of downfall. Resultantly, a person is dragged to a lower state. All the great practices of austerity followed in different spiritual orders are the strategic ways to defeat these enemies. God's sermon to Arjun, I, mind, is to indulge in this Mahabharata. In the following chapters, simple methods to attain self-realization have been narrated. By practicing the same, we can rise to heights beyond reach of the worldly temptations. When there would be no evil, whatever remains behind would be good. In this way, the natural outcome of self-realization is the attainment of divine assets, expansion of the form of the self and stretching it to the extreme. The worldly bonds burst like rubber balloon and the soul is merged in God. Knowledge of this purport would disappoint some persons, and they would say that this path is for ascetics, those who want to be one with God or render service for the good of others, pamath. It may prove useful to them alone. The benefit of this accrues to the people after death in next world, But we are concerned with the present world. Our daily routine, profession or business, service, knowledge, money earning, entertainment, etc. pertains to this world. We can spare some time for ultra-mundane acts, but most of our time is occupied in our worldly affairs. Therefore, what gain can we derive from such worldly activities? The aforesaid doubt is natural because our mode of thinking has become complicated to such an extent that we must make two separate divisions, one for worldly and the other for ultra-worldly interest. In fact, there cannot be any two such compartments. Both are deeply linked like stomach and back. Even then, we would not feel any necessity to explain it afresh by reversing the entire thinking process, keeping in view the size and volume of this book. It would be sufficient to say so much at this place that self-realization is the best art to make one's practical life a success. With the elevation of soul, all worldly heights can be attained. Whosoever possesses a strong willpower has everything, and all success is within his reach. All secrets of commonly known natural yoga are hidden in the fact that a person should know his real self, his status, and search for his rights and put forward his claim for the invaluable property of his father. This is the true national highway, free from all obstacles. This should be understood by all that the knowledge or ignorance of one's own power and the capability of implements one uses is responsible for the success or failure of any work, because even the most intellectual persons cannot make proper use of the energy and material unless they get full knowledge of proper shape and form of objects. Scriptures exhort, "O immortal souls, you are not insignificant. You are great. You are not to experience any incapability or to beg for anything. You are all powerful. Your power knows no bounds. With the resources you are born with, you possess an unfailing divine weapon. Its power is more than the power of all weapons possessed by Lord Indra. Success and ecstasy are your birthright. Awake and arise. Know well yourself, your weapons, and the goal before you, and intelligently strive to achieve it. Let us see why and how you do not get whatever you long for. You are the tree which fulfills the desire of all, Kalpavriksha, the celestial cow, Kamdenu, and the true embodiment of success. Even an iota of fear and disappointment has not been used in your pious makeup. Take it and be enriched with your rights. This book would disclose that you are neither body nor living being, but Almighty Himself. All the powerful energies of mind and body are your tools. You are not the slave of senses. Habits cannot force you. Mental distress has no existence. Recognize properly yourself and your implements. Thereafter, as living being, you would naturally make proper use of them. Free your mind of all doubts, suspicions, and use your intellect to skillfully pierce into the reality of objects to achieve anything. This is accomplished yoga. Gita exclaims, Yoga Karmsu Kaushlam, meaning, yoga is skill in action. Make yourself such a skillful yogi. The object of this practice is to secure a proper place in this world and in the world hereafter, and thus march steadily on the progressive path. May God inspire you to tread on this path.